Hello and welcome. Now, I just was checking in the sales just briefly, and I thought, oh, really, that really does suit us. It's the unrealistic Titan Forager header, which is, I think, really useful. So, yeah, for 7,220, being as we do cotton as well, I don't think that's too terrible a thing. We're going to set it as standard, though. It's a 9 meter, and that's what it'll be, and we'll keep it. I do like Chris S. and Riley S. to get the credit for this, so it's staying in there. No, we'll just buy it standard. Yeah, it's all right. It's a little confusing to me because there's a couple of Let's Plays where I've got the Wompsville where I'm insisting that I've got to like grab it. So yeah, all of them have to be. That's one of the provisions of that particular Let's Play. So I always have to think for a second. I think, no, it's not Wompsville. It's one of those things. As also, it's in my defence, it's like I've just woken up and it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I have had a good night's sleep for once, which is quite a nice place for me to be. So right, so there's that's that sorted. So we're looking for a forage harvester. It's got to be to do the 9 meter. It's got to be a fairly meaty one. So I suppose we could actually. It's true. Why don't we actually use that feature? It is really cracker. This was the Let's Play where I actually first started to lean on this a little bit more. So I think that's not a bad thing. So with that in mind, forage harvester. Let's have a look. There's some really decent ones, but obviously there's not many cheapish ones apart from EED123, who I loved in, I loved what he did. But again, look at that. It's got to be, I think, the Colossus or the Crone by Hispano, apparently. Not Hispano, but Hispano. Yeah. No, we all know it's Hispano. Right, so 355,000. It's for a 5 hour. So even that's not. It's a cut down version. It's an older version. Hence the fact it's a bit cheaper. But that one is. That's no by Despo. That actually really is a bit of a beauty, isn't it? It's up to 90. Nah, let's see. Actually, if you go for like the biggie, yeah, it then becomes the same as all the others. So it's not any. Yeah, it's the same. Whereas this bit of a beaut is, let's look at the Rosamash as well. I think this is weaker. Yeah, it is. It is what it is. I've got this on another Let's Play. You could go up to a 6 meter, which is brilliant, but not if you've just bought a 9 meter header for it. Then you've got to go for this beaut, which I really don't mind if we do. Which starts off at 1156. So let's find used for that and hope that we actually can then assist with our cotton harvest, which will be a quite nice place to be. Right, so we've still got 655, but that's gonna hit us a bit hard now. Why have I started our engine? That's a little bit too. So it is January, but there's very little we can do. Now, did we do the animals already? Well, I'd say that's fairly. I can't believe how well we're doing. So, yeah, these are 20. So, yeah, they're 26 months. Yeah, that's right. We've got less goats now where they're only 5. So in 8 months and 3, then they'll start. Do they produce milk, or do they produce milk when they would give birth? I think it's when they give birth. So it would then be a further 8 months before they're milked. But I'm not sure if the game does it like that. And then we've got, yeah, no, they've just been born this very morn. So yeah, they're not going to be producing wool for a while, really. So then let's go through till tomorrow. Did we shift everything? Yeah, as in like wool and. Yeah, we did. It's literally, that's just dregs. So yeah, we can go through till tomorrow. If I could stop jumping in and out of the. And indeed, 9 o'clock. Had we got anything to Saturn? No, I think we'd already sold everything, haven't we? I think. Oh, that's true, actually. January is an important day for selling. Let's have a look. It's February. Probably wouldn't go off the boil too much. Let's just check. at what we have actually got to sell. I think we did. We had the big session a couple of sessions ago. Yeah, these are they're small, aren't they? The milk and that really. Goat milk is in green, and it is October, so yeah, it's a Giants one, so it stays green quite a lot. But again, it's not a. Oh no, it doesn't have to be. We'll let it build up a little bit more. Honey, 14,000 litres. Rope is yellow, 47 at 52. But that is quite high. No, it can go a little bit higher, I think. Yeah, a little. About 5.6, I think, is its top price-ish. So that's not too terrible. Right, so nothing, we're not missing anything at all. Let's check the sales then. We have a potato header as well. It's true, the Colossus pack really appears quite frequently in the sales, which is nice. Ooh. Oh, that is amazing. I was looking at the amount of tractors we've got. Seriously, now this will not be 93,000. Yeah, there's loads of. Yeah, I love HGs, as you can tell, because we've got one. But it's no good for this. Yeah, you can't get rid of all of the options. I think that is the cheapest, that one there, and that would cripple us. So you can't buy and sell unless you're keeping it for yourself. I think, to be honest, I was looking at the tractors we've got. I think, all things considered, that we've got enough tractors. I do. I've got more tractors than a little. So it's a shame because, yeah, I don't. We've got a Massey, have we? Typically. And I'm not sure whether we do. Do we buy another one as well? I know we've just bought the header as well. It's a very good price. It's half price. You cannot have too many of these. I can't stress that enough. If you're going to go into this, it is expensive. So do you know something? We're going to do it. Yeah, I've many a time had like 2 or 3 of those in a Let's Play. And I really don't ever. I've never felt that it was too many ever, with them being a 6 metre. And even standard workers in FS19, I used to use, like, I think I had 3 on my favourite Alien Gym map, which was the American one. Yeah, it was, you'd think, obviously me being British, I would have liked, please don't take it that I don't like his other maps. There's not a single Alien Gym map I didn't like. One was slightly buggy. The one where he did the Cavalier Roy's, obviously with Alien Jim's help, or help. Well, no, it is his help in a way, but yeah, he's allowed Cavalier Roy to use the feature where you can chop the fence posts. Yeah, that's the feature I was on about. That he allowed Cavalier Roy to actually use, which it was his map with that on, which I found a little bit buggy. Yeah, I had a couple of issues with it, because I did really want to do a proper full Let's Play on it. I was not doing content at the time, I was literally learning the game, but yeah, I did sort of do that, and I found it a little buggy. Which is a shame because I did like it, but I couldn't get on with it. It was glitching regularly in certain sort of situations, and I thought, I can't have this. So up to 467, but we have bought a second one of those, so it's still not terrible. I think we've just taken off our ability to buy another field, though, haven't we? Really, but equipment is, I always think, a little bit more important. Yeah, so we could still buy another one. Yes, we could buy that one at 456 if we so desired, but it would cripple us, so we will wait. Right, it's February. No, we're not really doing that for this particular one, are we? So direct disc, 5 metre. See, that would suit the EED one, wouldn't it, really? Yeah, and that one we can't make any more cash, so now then. Animals. we could really coast, but then we were like, waste a day of grabbing the stuff, wouldn't we? So where is the? He will have taken stuff to market. He will. Let's grab him. Wow, no, this is... I think we're going to have to... Yeah, I know we're going to lose cash, but it's too tricky. You couldn't, like... Look at the cars, how deep it is. It's another 60 centimetres expected. Oh, come on. This mod's getting crazy now. It's getting daft. Yeah, nearly every winter, all of the time. No, it's not always, but... It is a bit... this has gone the other way now. And I've removed precision farming as well. Yeah, enough... Giants have had well enough time to actually get their act together with it. It's crazy. I'd sooner go fertilise once and it'd be done with it, because at least it's... so there may be... Oh, actually, we should be alright. Yeah, because we haven't got anything in the ground, so... Yeah, I'm not missing it. It really was detrimental to play balance, not... It didn't add anything at all, because it's too just broken. It's another... I think I'd sooner have the base game and everything be as it is with seasons, even though that's a cut down seasons. It's still... And I mean, there's loads of mods I've got on that try to add a bit of it, including the realistic weather, which I now think is unrealistic weather, because it's like... Oh, let's have lots of snow every single year. That's just as bad as Giants, only it's unbalanced the other way now. It's crazy. Right, so then, yeah, we couldn't work in this. So let's go through till 9 o'clock. They've got enough food, but it's going to like leave them. We're going to have to like emergency throw some grass into the goats and the sheep. Got to. I hate doing it, because you've really got to shift your... We've now wasted, you know, because it doesn't catch up like at FS22. Yeah, we know there's no more place for that. That's what I was like talking about. Right, okay. Ooh, the next that. Now this would suit this. It would actually, it's true. Yeah, it would cripple us though, but... I've already got a header. Yes. I suppose we could... Yeah. I suppose we could... what is the point, actually? We are looking for... Oh, they're only up to 139s. We could sell it, though. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. There's two things we could do. No, because we yeah... Oh, no. Yeah, it's true. It's actually... It's going to assist us. I was going to say I can't afford... But we're not buying it. Oh, we're on pounds as well. Yeah, so grab that too. For the future. Right, okay then. So let's go up the store and do it. We can't really afford to like repair you. That's a bit... How do we... No, I suppose we can. You... Apologies, flowers, but I have got to pretend that... Let's just stick this. If it's 50% damage as well, that's... Yeah, let's get off the flowers. I don't think we're actually blocking anything at that. So for future posterity, we're now absolutely skint. And all we've got to sell is this one. Oh, the snow's not... well, we have bought a load of stuff, haven't we, really? You can't have it always. And it's not like we didn't have another field either. Yeah, we've still got a field as well. Oh, I put the... Keep buying it with the... Yeah, it takes your profit away. It's only a little bit, I know, but... Ooh. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're not quite in really at that. Ooh. Yeah, I thought I was looking at precision farming the other day on one of the Let's Plays, and I thought, this is just a mess. It really is. There's no excuse. Right, so then, let's get on with doing a bit of proper farming now. Then I suppose, yeah, we could sell it. Let's just leave it as is. Yeah, I don't want it to like become, but I don't also want to ignore the fact that it's a good way of making profit. So let's get this sorted. We should be able to beat you. Yeah, I've still not used a rand. I know. Oh, everything's still on top of where the snow should be. You know, like height-wise. Not everything. That's all right. This is though, yeah, it is. Right, okay, let's get this done. We'll grab. You can drop that weight now. Should. Yeah, for what? Yeah, we need to. Put this like that. For that, you can do the heavy lifting, and no, it does go through to the other. Yeah, I've tried to think of this. It has got another hitch for that, for literally for grabbing these, so that, yeah, which is very rare for this type of weight. Very rare. So then, you can grab the milk. Let's get this job done. So it is March. We need to be like thinking about, yeah, well, this is torrential rain. We need the rain to stop first before we like start the two stone pickers on their journey again. Right. Yeah, the one thing I'm going to say that I'm a bit disappointed with, and it's obviously really is the giants. You know, like the cycles on a dairy is quite poor. So I think I'm going to like sort of ignore that and try to make a more balanced dairy. Yeah, because I've noticed on all Let's Plays that the dairy is based upon obviously the Giants model. They're really sort of quite poor on what they actually do. Even if I go up to a super, I'm still like, well, that's still bad. Yeah, well, it's obviously the model's wrong that Giants has done. You know, the ability for it to it was the same in FS22, but I never really, obviously I wasn't modding then, so you just have to put up with it, don't you? It is what it is, but I don't have to do that anymore. I can actually do something about it. Now that's quite a lot of milk. Oh, that's... Brilliant. Okay, let's get you going. And let's drop you. And let's grab this little lot. Yeah, also I have, after sort of playing with physical and ethereal, I've decided ethereal's for me. I have. It's let's just push these a bit closer as well. It's a bit messy really with having the goat milk too. It's definitely causes grief a bit. Yeah, I mean with like making this harder to do than normal. That's what I'm sort of saying. Yeah, this is one thing I do miss about Mack Truckers, and that is the length. Because it doesn't seem to go to the one at the back very easily. Occasionally you'll do it, but you have to really give it some welly. I don't really like doing that, if I'm honest. Oh, okay. That's one way to do it. Wow, I wouldn't have thought I'd have done that. Yeah, this is another thing I'd like to do. I did give quite a bit of time, actually, to trying to figure out a set myself with belts. I did, but I just couldn't. Yeah, I tried almost to copy completely, as in like step by step. I don't mean to copy completely, but what I mean is use the same as NASA. You know, use the Albert system, and I could not make it work. Even following step by step what NASA had done, I could not. So there was something I missed that I should have done. That I did think I had done everything, but it still didn't work. So yeah. Just checking my recording. Sorry, I sneezed. I switched it off for once. Actually managed to get me sneeze de-sneezed so you didn't hear it, but. And I know I didn't need to draw attention to that, but yeah, it's yeah, I'm not worried to that extent. Yeah, just don't normally manage to catch it, because a lot of sneezers catch you out, don't they? They just suddenly come upon you. Right, so let's remind that rope that in this universe, even gravity does still exist. Yes, I've also added, I was quite pleased with this, I've not been doing much modding. I've been doing the odd tweak and the odd addition of a little bit, but nothing. Well, no, I did actually. I did do one new mod. Right, this is not turning very well. Yeah, I did a glass factory, but it was specially for Wampsville. And obviously, what I didn't know at the time was... Okay. You've got to have just... Oh, why is that not grabbing that? Oh, it wasn't quite there. There we go. That's it. So we've got one 5,000 litre rope and nearly another. Where is the cotton? What, we've used all of the cotton? Seriously? Is that it? All of that cotton has gone? Is it stuck in a production silo or something like that? As it frequently is. No. No, it's not. So it really has used all of that. That seems a bit... No, we did do a massive amount, so no, I can't say as it's bad, really. Right, and now then, I believe grass, because they will get running a bit short. But I'd be interested to see, in a trailer, do you lose grass? I think you do. Yeah, it's consistent at least. So we have lost a bit of grass through it being in the trailer. Oh, but the trouble is that's not a true test, is it really? Because, yeah, we don't know that it wasn't already like that. A true test would be like us grabbing a grass, we'll dump it, and then we'll fill it, and we'll see by the more... Oh, no, but the trouble is it's on the... Yeah. It sits on here, so it will, like, keep filling up itself naturally, so therefore it could even just be that. So that's definitely not a true test in the slightest. Yeah. Oh, nearly. Fantastic. So that is now full, but it will still dump, so yeah, that's all good. Let's have a look at what can we... Okay, we need to do our cotton, which today is the last month because we should have done it February. So we need to speed up time. .360 would be useful. Let's not just sit at it doing slow. Yeah, that's dumping already. The one thing I do like, I do like the realistic weather. I just don't like the unrealisticness of it. But this is realistic. How the rain goes on and on and on. Giants weather tends to be a little bit like it'll never like rain forever. You know, I mean, you can get entire days where it's going to rain, and even though obviously as farmers, you seriously don't want it to ruin your crop. Yeah, but sometimes it does. That's the thing with the weather. It's a bit like that. It can indeed ruin entire crops. So let's do nearest. You can crack on. And also you, likewise, can crack on. We want nearest though. Excellent. I'll set them two going. Yeah, they've both got quite a while with it being shared job. So then you will do nicely. And we do need this. And it is on cotton already. Absolutely amazing. So we've got the other new fields. No precision farming to worry about. But it will need liming. I would imagine. Yeah, I can't say that it does for certain, but let's have a look. And then we also need to do the grass on this field 16. Hang on a minute. No, I was going to buy 17. I didn't have the money to buy it. So it's 16 is out all the new fields. And we're going to cut the grass. Yeah, we are. We're not... it's nice headlands on these, isn't it, really? So then... let's go grab our mowers. We're gonna. Which one's the bigger of the two? There. No, it's not you that we want. It is. Yeah, we've got the case on the job, haven't we? Which is just about there. Just about there. Yeah, only just about there as well. It's probably seriously slightly underpowered for this. Right, let's set this going. Please, is it on swath mode? Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Fantastic. So I've had a couple of times where it's like gone, but recently when I've been checking, it's not been swapping it. So, but yes, I've sometimes set it up in swath dropping, and then the next session I know I've set it up, I'll set it going, and then it's not swath dropping, and I'm like, I've just set that on swath dropping. I know I did, and I check in editing, and I'm right, I did, and then it's gone back to like normal. So I don't know what that is about. So then set this going on our new field. I would have liked, but we have done very well in equipment, so you can't have it all, can you? So 16. I'm going to go into a time lapse because there's a lot of work to do. There is. So I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. wish it could have afforded another field, but to be honest, we have done well. I mean, we've got some monster equipment. I can't afford to start to order, or I need to start searching for the used Nexat bits. So although we've got it, and I would like to use it, I'm also thinking, well, hang on a minute, aren't we going far? It's true, isn't it? We've got, you know, it is true. Yeah, it is. That I've got the Nexat on other things. I have. It should still sell for the full price that it did before, but it really, on this Let's Play, is we've got like 2 proper cotton harvesters, and we've got a header that we're going to like literally, so this would bring in quite a lot of cash. It was a very good price, I might add. Let's just view out the road. Yeah, it is true. We've already got our businesses all settled, and you can't do everything every time, can you? Not really. So let's grab the next and let's sell it. We did yeah, it's true. Sometimes you realise, and I know everyone wants to see the next app, but that this is not the Let's Play for it. I have already got it on. Well, we got it on to begin with at Oak City, the very last couple of episodes, and we've still got 1 episode left to. That's going to seriously, possibly mean that we can buy another field. Really, it's good. We've got some rope as well. No, that's not the screen we want. No, we have got some rope as well. It'd have to be 17 then, wouldn't it? Let's buy it quickly. Yeah, it looks like we're lucky. Let's have a look. Not only are we lucky, oh, it's been fertilised as well. It's also cultivated. Oh, I know, but it's like, yeah. Well, we could, whilst I'm finishing this off, actually grab one of the, yeah, you will do nicely, actually. You're the exact machine I was actually looking for. Let's grab the lime, and at least lime the field. The standard worker, I think. Let's fill this in. Yeah, I'm still, the damage of the damage mod, it's like I come on sessions and sessions later, and I'm still finding bits and bobs that I've used, that some that were terribly damaged. I'm so glad that I haven't got it. I'm not even slightly tempted to actually do it again. It's just that too far reaching. It's almost like all that's I'm going to do is be repairing things. I think that's so unbalanced. It's a shame. It was a good idea, but like how it was done, really, no, not so good. Definitely not. It's literally batters all of your equipment, and by such a huge amount that all your money's going to just be swallowed up by your damage. That's not right. It's really not. Now, did we line this up already? I don't think we did. So this is going to need doing as well. Oh, that's the point, actually. What am I talking about? We only really need to lime now, like, naturally. Isn't it amazing? You get so used to your precision farming. But I've switched it off, so I don't need to worry about it. Yeah, this also now has the ability to accept wood, which is why it's got a bit of a wood chip sign. And this is your sell wood thing. Yeah, so I'm quite pleased. I did that for... yeah, it looks a bit busy though on that. I'm not sure whether or not to like... It looks a bit messy now. It's all legit lines because it does so much, but I just think it detracts from the actual building itself. So I might just leave these sell wood ones and make everything that size, make it a bit large, but let's go in, and then I'm going to crack on and finish the. I think it does need lime. I didn't say it needed lime. I'm sure it did. But that was a new one. No, the other field said it needed lime. Yeah, so we'll only be liming now when we need to lime. Liming is not now really important. Well, it is important. But what I mean is you only do it every 3rd crop or something like that. So this definitely did say it needed lime. I'm sure I'm right. So yeah, it needs lime. So let's let you go. And set you go. It's working this time. Yeah, a lot of the implements I've misbehaved quite badly. Daheem, I did my I had issues on it, sound, but I think it's only that map. So there's something wrong with the Dahim map that actually rips the sound off of the game. It's only so far happened on Dahim. So, but Callie did say you need a new save. Well, I hadn't done that, so I thought, well, it's going to be down to me and my saving. I've not done as I've been asked. I'm told. So, well, I'm asked. You don't have to, but it did say certain things wouldn't work. I wasn't worried about those, which is why I was not going to do a save. But when these things start to go wrong, I've got these weird glitches. I thought, well, Callie did say you need a new save, so of course I did a new save, and the glitches still carry on. So it's nothing at all to do. So I've done an awful lot of extra work for absolutely no reason at all. It's not assisted. It's still bad. So there's something not quite right with the heat. It's like ripping the sound, but also is, yeah, it glitches. It's when you click save, when you click quit Dahim, and it is only named. I've been on a couple of Let's Plays just to sort of think, well, is it the game itself, and is it a glitch that Giants, introduced with the last update? And I've been on Wampsville, it exits perfectly well. I've been on Maypole Farm, it exits perfectly. And I've been on WestbridgeHills, and it exits perfectly. Meaning there's only that where it does this strange thing where it crashes the map, and you can see underneath the map upwards. You can see the surface as if you were underneath the map looking up, and that's what you can see. And I've done a couple of screenshots, but it's only on the hinge to me points out that something's not quite right. How it's done on the map, that the game doesn't like what's crashing the game, but you can still save your game, and you just have to like literally crash its engine and go on out, which I don't mind doing, but it's not right. It's a long way from right, and it is definitely Dahim based. So I'm sure Callie will get around to figuring it out, fixing it. Seems a pretty major error though, yeah. But I will say that a lot of the map makers, obviously, the way that the workers work now, it's like reversing for a long way and bashing into things, and they can't work out if they've hit something. It's causing issues, and obviously a lot of map makers, yeah, from FS25 onwards, an awful lot of map makers started to make maps where prettiness was more important than anything else, and they were not observing the normal rules. Oxygen David and long-time map makers, Cavalier Roy also, he observes that, but FS25 introduces a new way that obviously workers work, which even seasoned map makers sort of have got to relearn what they learned before and apply the new ways of, on Dahim I was making note that really, but of course you've got to bear in mind that Callie made the map, and it was probably making that map for quite a while, and also whilst making the map I'm quite sure he wasn't playing the game, where he would notice the fact that obviously the workers were working in this new way. So all map makers, I would say, really have an absolute get out of jail free card, because to implement something, not everyone plays the game, but again, there's a lot of map makers now introducing this is prettiness, VR modding, beautiful map, one of the most gorgeous maps I've seen, but like, there were islands and trees where you didn't observe, and I have seen other map makers that have observed that, where they make I think there is these. Yeah, he's got an island who's got like 4 or 5 trees in an island, which there's nothing wrong with that. You often see islands of trees or a little island, but in the game it has to be sort of shown as an island. You can't just have a collection of trees. Well, that's what VR modding did. Collection of trees. That introduces problems, because your workers are just going to keep clacking the trees all the time. It's just going to stress the players out, and if you've got stressed players who like, they're not going to like want to go on your maps. I literally came off the map because that was the area I'd chosen. I thought, I don't need, shouldn't need to remake a map. You know, I shouldn't come in and have to edit a map. I don't mean there should not. Yeah, I don't mean this to sound nasty. Of course, you've got to do the odd bit of work. Of course, you have to make something right. I mean, even ripping the odd tree out in a place where you want to do something special. Daheem, I mean, I've literally torn lots of trees out that were perfectly okay. You didn't need to do it, but I wanted to do something different, so I had to rip the trees out. That's fair dues. Of course I expect to do that. If I'm doing something that the map maker never would have thought you should do it. But for using a field, I've got to chop like 5 trees down and then remove all that stuff. And I'd already done quite a bit of that. And I just thought, not again, no. I can't do this for every field I call. That I've got to like sort of tear it to pieces. And there were trees at like every... Obviously the workers do this reversing trick. Now again, I'm not saying for 1 minute that VR modding, it's obviously an FS22 convert, but at every single corner there were these trees. Now again, I'm not... Again, I've just already said, and it is true, he has already got a get out of jail free card. He was also converted, so it may not even be a player. So you've got to give him a break, but I can't remake the map, and it's one of those sort of calls you've got to make. Yeah, well, I've already done enough of this that I'm not going to do any more. And then I suppose what I'm trying to say is you'd expect at a certain point the map to get edited to sort of make it usable under FS25, where you, the player, don't have to edit the map completely, because that obviously, that's not what you... As a player, the clue's in the title. You're playing. You're not a map editor. You are not a map maker. So really, it should be playable, but of course, not perfect. Not by any stretch of the imagination. There's no one, not even myself, would expect, oh, I just want to roll on the map and I can do everything that I want. No, of course not. And again, there are maps like this, WestbridgeHills, that are perfect start maps, where if you want like a nice chilled time where you've not got to do loads of that kind of alterations, this is your kind of map. You know, for a beginner player to put their teeth without got to want like plot trees all the time, all that type of stuff. WestbridgeHills is your map. You know, there's a few maps like this. Against that, again, just been released. I've never been on that map. I've seen Frithgar do a cracking series on. I might actually do that when we finished on Daheem. I might do against that. Yeah, I would like to have a go at it. But, it's interesting, and it's not easy in some ways. I remember like thinking, I was watching... That's what I'm thinking. His name's escaped me. Frithgar. Yeah, I was watching Frithgar, and it's like typical, you've got to run all the way over here to sell this, but then we've got our own sell points, our self-marketing, so is it going to make that too tricky? The shop is a fair old trek. But then again, you can like get a few low loaders and grab your stuff. Or do what I used to do on other maps where you're a long way away from the shop. Start down at the shop, grab your stuff, and like pull it across. And if the AI splines are good, then you can send your workers with your equipment like that. That wouldn't be too terrible. So I would like to, and again, I would always like your opinion. Is it a map that you would like to see? Is it one you're not bothered about? I'd like to have a go because I've never had a go. Again, if you would like me to do it, did you want to set me a challenge? Yeah, I mean, I'm up for it, I really am. Yeah, I'm up for quite stringent. Marty's good at setting challenges. Again, Marty or anyone else, it doesn't have to be Marty, but yeah, anybody, I really would not mind doing that. So next, all my life, excellent job. So the liming is, and the other good thing is now my limer is going to come into its own now, because on base game, I've got a good bonus on, naturally, let's do set destination. Let's go on to the headland. I'm not sure. They don't like turning around. This is where they usually go wrong. But if it's like because they clang into something or they can't quite do it, so now if anything should be able to turn on a dime, it would definitely be that. Right, so there's one last little bit, and then next session, yeah. What I wanted to do them all, though. Yeah, now that we're down to 117,000, I am glad we've got the field. So this year we are going to seriously hit some cotton. We've got 2 cotton harvesters. And obviously, on order, we have our. I think it was a Colossus in the record, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, because it's powerful enough straight off. So the Colossus is the partner that we've chosen for our forage harvester for that special header. So we're going to be like hitting. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I shall set a standard harvester going. I will do the 3rd field. It's just. Let's repair this as well before we start our next session, because again, the effects of the damage, but just look at that. It's very got its fingers in many parts. Oh, you can buy 5. It's got a massive stone in the middle. I suppose you can have it as a farm. Right, yeah, fuel is not a bad idea. Yes, I really do quite like the fertiliser type. I was sort of, when precision farming was like going to drop, I was like, oh, I quite enjoying doing this fertiliser mix. But you do time still fairly frequently, really, if you like go down your fields quickly. It's not like you lime, not as often as with precision farming. But with the less precision farmers in there, I'm just not willing to play. But I've given giants moments to sort it out. It's a right mess. It is. I'm just not willing to play with it. It's detracting from everything, so I just don't want to play. I don't want to do that because it's not making things better. It's just worse. It's a travesty of what it's supposed to stand for. Wow, that was some mess. I suppose the other thing about the damage reduction, the advanced damage now is a script base. I suppose you'd have to seriously knock your damage down the costs to like 70% or 80% off, because otherwise it's just all you're going to be doing is repairing your equipment, because it does it all of the time. It's just like something else, really. So all we've got left to do. Yeah, it's a bit messy, that is. It is, but I'd forgotten about those when I put it down. Of course, I had only just done the water place that makes it even bigger, so it is what it is. So that's the next session. We'll set a standard working going on this so that we can I suppose that would be good. So anything else? Yeah, the good thing is, of course, we have a roller, but we don't ever need a roller if we're just only going to do cotton. Let's set you going. And let's move. My friend Bob is in control. Let's move these out the road so that Bob doesn't crash into anybody. So a monstrous amount. Now this seriously is going to bring in. Now that's a point actually. Do we? Yeah. So you can see what we've done. Yeah. Now then, we should be fully fertilized. Now I'm interested in seeing whether fertilize once is working nicely. Yeah, it's doing the dark blue straight away. Now that's been half done. Bob will obviously do that, and then it'll be completely fertilized. So fertilize once is working nicely. Done a tiny little bit around that rock, which worked for most implements. So that's not too terrible. Oh, got some damage to the field. Whoa, what's that about? What are the patches of the green? We did it all, so that's a bit odd. This game is a mess. It really is. This is the most messy implementation of Farming Simulator. And I have got to be honest, I have said this a few times now. I keep sort of thinking to myself, every now and again, I'll have this thought and I think, do I find another game? I've got a lot of investiture in the game as well. I mean, literally where I'm creating content. And I'm like, for me to be having those kind of thoughts, it must really deep down be bothering me that the game is a right mess. And I'm like, well, it is a right mess. But I am staying. I don't want to move back to the type of games I used to. Of course, there are other games as well that you could sort of like move to. But this is non-violent. It's hard. It's got quite a steep learning curve. And now adding the modding into this sort of thing, I mean, hopefully I will at some point be able to release one that Giants won't marmalise and that will not get thrown out if it's peak. I'm hoping that at some point my granddaughter Chloe. Fantastic. I do like this little 201 horsepower. It's a little beaut, really. Yeah, so, yeah, we did all of our stones and everything. So next month we'll do our first grass cut because I think it's second growth stage. Yeah, it has more of the brown showing and it's not quite as long. Yeah, so fourth. It should tell you, yeah, growth 3 out of 4. You are right, definitely. Yeah, it does sort of show you, doesn't it, if there's anything left to do now, needs rolling. Do we rip our fields up? Not obviously at this precise moment. Do we rip them up like... Because we could at least do that. We have a roller. It just seems if we're losing... Oh, it's only a tiny bonus. Am I really about that? Yield bonus plus 88 plus 91 just by moving a step. Well, that's precision farming for you, and that's what I was saying. Yeah, this is what I was on about. 81, 252. 252? What a mess. That's what I'm saying. And that's why I've ripped precision farming off. It is just not fit for purpose. And they've had a lot of cracks at fixing it. Which sort of does beg the question. FS25 is presenting quite a challenge to Giants, isn't it, really? Yeah. That's such a big challenge that then unable presently to actually fix all of the things for this game that we've all paid rather a lot of cash for. Yes. Am I pleased with Giants? Well, as a modder, I'm terribly displeased with Giants. As a player, I'm also terribly displeased with Giants. It's the worst iteration. I've said this just to be balanced about this. FS19 was a nightmare at the beginning. It was a real mess, but Giants pulled out all the stops, and it was, in my personal opinion, when FS19 finished, I could have easily carried on. There were foibles and faults with the game itself, as in design faults, where things looked messy. You got caught in bunker silos a lot due to the design of the game and the physics of the game. It was not perfect, but it was nice and polished, and everything worked quite nicely. From Follow Me, yeah, everything. Courseplay. Did Precision Farming get released in 19? Can't remember. Yeah, no, it did. Yeah, it was. And it too was polished. Absolutely spot on. FS22, it was a mess all the way through, but it was fairly stable. It was playable, but there were still things like that. I mean, the biggest one that always sticks in my mind is the manure. I mean, that was a mess all the way through FS22. It was on, it was off, it was on, it was off, it was on, it was off. It was that many times. I'm not exaggerating for I'm just saying it was that bad. It worked for a bit and then it broke, and then it worked and then it broke. And it wasn't just that one thing, obviously, but that's the one that sticks out in my mind as I'm speaking to yourselves. It was bad. Now, FS25, where do I begin? I mean, yeah, it looks beautiful. I was noting on this very session, I was following up with the planter, and I was thinking, Gordon Bennett, the stone picker's not picked the stone up. And then as I was going up, about 20 seconds after he'd been in that area, I saw the image change to like he'd completed it, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is the lag. This is the FS25 lag. If I was going to say anything in a one single word of FS25, it would be lag. It's got to be slowness, as I always jokingly say. But it's true. It's awful. Give me FS22 or FS... I'd prefer slightly worse graphics and a game that actually worked to a game that's beautiful but really ugly because of the fact that the game is supposed to be a farming game, and if you're creating content, it's impossible to do a good job of creating content. You've got to do every trick and do weird angles and try and show you that that's not, or not show you. The good content creators will, of course, be doing that, but you shouldn't need to. The game's a mess, an absolute mess. Now the manure's working on it now. That's one thing I have got to say in Giants' defence, although I got so sick to death of the manure even in FS25 that I actually created internal manure things on all of my animal enclosures, all of the cows. So I thought, I don't care anymore. I've given up. I don't care whether you fixed it or not, because I fixed mine, and that's all that matters. I'll just play with mine and I'm not bothered. But again, you shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't, as a player, be put in that position. Now I've got the ability to mod, so therefore I can think, oh, stuff you giants, I'll do it myself, because again, it's just a mess and I need to fix this myself. What I can do, but even that, I noticed, I've pointed this out a few times, you can't fix the game. What's this about? Why are these metallic? Oh, it's showing water at least. Giants, note this fact. This now has the water layer, but thanks to your engine, that it's now showing as metallic, and it's not metallic at all. It's exactly the same as this here. Yeah, I don't know why it's metallic at all. It's never been metallic. Not that. That has never been metallic. Yeah, this is what they should look like. I'm going to say, well, one's the seeder and one's the fertilizer spreader. So that I kept this one simple because this was the one that was in for Giants testing. So that is plastic. It's leather, actually. If you really want the stippling, I like the stippling, so I chose plastic. Well, leather, but it is plastic, the actual substance. And the cedar is, I think, no, you're right near it. Is, no, I like this. This is pretty. Yeah, now that it's now again because of the fact of the way vehicles are made, it should be much smaller than that. It shouldn't be that small. It should be much bigger than that. But obviously, when you do the detailed diffuse, sorry to get into modding mode, it shrinks it for some reason. It's a right mess. But yeah, that's what it should look like. So you should have that one should be the stippled plastic and not metallic, and that one should be that beautiful. Yeah, black and red, which it was at one point, and then it's almost like it's damaged it. But why has it gone to damaged metallic? Yeah, that's metallic. All of that is nice silver. I've gone for the same thing now, but has that one not got my bar? Oh no, this one's got the bar. Yeah, I finished this off because Giants, yeah, they never did this. It was not finished. It looks messy, so yeah, again, I fixed it. Right, so yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it there. But it is, I've got to be honest, the Giants are like as low can be as a game manufacturer. They'd have to pull out an absolute miracle to get my opinion to change. The rudeness of the modding crew, the poorness of the game, and them swanning around like everything's okay, and there's no press releases about, oh, we're really sorry everyone that we've caused such a disaster to this game, it is such a mess. Oh no, like all other companies of the time we live in, oh no, none of that. Everything's hunky-dory. Look at all the press releases, the PR and all the rest of it. Everything's okay. Well, it's not really, Giants. It's an absolute mess. It really is. So yeah, that's my personal opinion. And I suppose a lot of that is the game could settle down, but if you've had so much hassle. I was one of the stupid, very early adopters that came from this when a lot of people carried on FS22. Now, they were the sensible ones. You see, I may not be a partner, but I was stupid and I actually backed Giants and jumped straight into FS25, into the mess that was and is still, to a degree, FS25 is still a mess. Yeah, well, again, as I've just said, the laggy slowness. I mean, the waves that have always been a thing on FS, always. FS19, it used to zip across the map like it was. FS22 was also fairly fast. FS25, Gordon Bennett, I can see the snow at the edge of the map, and it will take 5 minutes to get to here. But I mean, I know it's coming, but I mean, it's useful for getting a bit of work in before the snow hits. But is it right? Not really. No, it's not. Anyway, yeah, I'm not moaning. I'm actually pointing out. I am in a way. I'm peeved. If I'm totally truthful, I'm so totally peeved. And for the fact that it keeps on getting me to the extent where I'm considering moving. No, I'm not. But what I'm saying is it's the game, the state of the game is tickling my psyche to the point where my subconscious is going, why are you still here? Well, it's because I've made a choice, and I don't regret that choice in a lot of ways, but in some ways, my partner Giants of my pleasure that I do on Farm Simulator has severely let me down in a major way, and that is the crux of the matter. It really is. So, all that remains to be said is thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on this and other journeys. And I'm going to say, yeah, I also invite your comments. Am I being unreasonable? I always like to know, has it got under my skin to the point where it's annoying, you know, as in I'm annoying you because you think actually Giants have done a good enough job? Again, I'd always like to hear from yourselves, because I am a reasonable person that if enough people said, no, you're being unreasonable, I would change my mind. I would. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye for now.